Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Angel B. Paris, and today I'm going to discuss the skin and its structures, different bones of the skeletal system, and also the major muscles of the human body. So what is skin? Skin is the body's largest organ, made of water, protein, fats, and minerals. The skin has up to 7 layers of ectodermal tissue and guards the underlying muscles, bones, ligaments, and internal organs. Before we proceed to the skin structures, let me enlighten you about its functions, including sensation, protection, storage, and thermoregulation. Sensation has a variety of nerve endings which responds to temperature, pressure, and pain. While protection, it is a layer which protects the body from external pathogens such as virus, bacteria, and fungi that might cause diseases such as meningitis. And storage, water and lipids are stored in the skin. And lastly, the thermoregulation. Heat can be lost through dilation of blood vessels of the skin and secretion of sweat from sweat glands. Heat is preserved by contraction in blood vessels to keep the warm blood away from the skin. So let's proceed to the structures of the skin. We have epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous layer. Epidermis is the outermost layer of skin. It is the protective barrier. It is stratified squamous epithelium consisting of basal and suprabasal keratinocytes. There are no blood vessels in the epidermis, so its cells receive nutrients via diffusion from capillaries and dermis. For further, epidermis is an elastic layer on the outside that is continually being regenerated and includes the keratinocytes, coniocytes, and melanocytes. Keratinocytes play multiple roles essential for skin repair. They are executors of the reepithelialization process, whereby keratinocytes migrate and differentiate to restore the epidermal barrier, while corneocytes is the flattened dead keratinocytes that together make up the very outer layer of the epidermis is called the stratum corneum or horny layer. This protective layer is continually worn away or shed. And lastly, we have melanocytes. Melanocyte is able to produce the pigment melanin that protects against UV radiation and gives skin its color. And the next layer is the dermis. This layer consists of connective tissue and is elastic, so cushions the body from stress. There are many nerve endings here responsible for providing sense of touch and heat. This layer also contains sweat glands, hair follicles, and sebaceous gland. Sweat glands produce sweat that travels through sweat ducts to opening in the epidermis called pores. They are responsible in temperature regulation. And also, hair follicles are pits in which hairs grow. Hairs also plays a role in temperature regulation. And lastly, the sebaceous glands produce sebum to keep hair free from dust and bacteria. And we have the third layer, the subcutaneous layer. This layer isn't part of the skin, but is below the dermis. It attaches the skin to the underlying bone and muscle. It consists of elastin and loose connective tissue. The cells in this layer are fibrocytes, macrophages, and adipocytes. 50% of the body fat is stored in this layer. Let's move on to the different bones of skeletal system. We have flat bone, long bone, irregular bone, and sesamoid bone, and short bones. The first one is the flat bone. Flat bone are made up of layer of spongy bone between two thin layers of compact bone. They have a flat shape, not rounded. Examples include the skull and rib bones. Flat bones have marrow, but they do not have a bone marrow cavity. Another one is the irregular bone. Irregular bones vary in shape and structure and therefore do not fit into any other category such as flat, short, long, or sesamoid. They often have unfairly complex shape, which help protect internal organs such as the vertebrae that protect the spinal cord. And we have the long bone. Long bones have a thick outside layer of compact bone and an inner medullary cavity containing bone marrow. All the bones in the arms and legs except the patella and ankle are long bones. Another one is the short bone. Short bone include the carpal bones of the hands that allow movement of the wrist, and the tarsal bones of the feet that allow movement of the ankle. The outside surface is comprised of a thin layer of compact bone. And another one is the sesamoid bone. Sesamoid bone is a small round bone that is embedded within a tendon, whose purpose is to reinforce and decrease stress on the tendon. You will mostly find sesamoid bones in our knee, thumb, and big toe. Okay, let's proceed to the major muscular in human body. Let me discuss first the front muscles of the human body. We have deltoid, pectorals, biceps, abdominal, and tibialis anterior, and quadriceps. Deltoid muscles are in your shoulder, which is the ball and socket joint that connects your arm to the trunk of your body. They also protect and stabilize your shoulder joint. Another one is the pectoralis muscle. It is any of the muscles that connect the front walls of the chest with the bones of the upper arm and shoulder. There are two such muscles on each side of the breastbone or sternum in the human body, the pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. Pectoralis major is a thick fan shape which makes up the bulk of the chest muscle, while pectoralis minor is a thin that attaches the ribs. And we have the biceps. Biceps bends the forearm toward the upper arm and is thus used in lifting and pulling movements. It is also supinates in the forearm. Another one is the abdominal. Our abdominal muscles have many important functions, from holding organs in place to supporting our body during movement. Tibialis anterior, it is a muscle in humans that originates along the upper two-thirds of the lateral surface of the tibia and inserts into the medial cuneiform and first metatarsal bones of the foot. And lastly, we have the quadriceps. It is the big muscles at the front of a person's thigh. Without it, you wouldn't be able to stick your legs straight out, walk, jump, or bend. They also keep your kneecap stable because you rely on your squat to do many types of activities. They can be prone to injury. So I'm going to discuss the back muscles in our body. We have triceps, latissimus dorsi, gluteals, hamstring, and gastrocnemius. Triceps is a large muscle on the back of the upper limb of many vertebrates. It consists of three parts, the medial, lateral, and long head. And we have the latissimus dorsi. It is a large muscle covering the width of the middle and lower back. It connects the bone of the upper arm to the spine and the hip. And we have the gluteals, are able to stabilize the hip and help us balance. Gluteus maximus, the primary hip extension muscle, and also the largest of the three gluteals. Their biggest job is in keeping us upright and pushing our bodies forward. And another one is the hamstring. Hamstring are skeletal muscles at the back of your thigh. We use them to walk, climb stairs, do squats, and perform many other leg movements. And lastly, the gastrocnemius. It is the large muscle located in the posterior leg. It is an important mover of our lower leg and is responsible for normal walking and running actions. And that's all. Thank you and God bless.